And welcome to another episode of My Idaho Friends. I am your host, Jaime Lima. And as always, we have a good one for you because they're never bad. We only bring you the good stuff. Super excited, but before we introduce our guest, as always, shout out to the ones and onlys, Erica, Justin, and Emma, over here at Argos Productions. Argos Productions.
It's Ellen.
Is Ellen? FML. Anyways, Argos Productions for all your production needs and things, okay? You want to start a podcast, hit them up. You want to start a web series, hit them up. Documentary, film, take naughty pictures of somebody special in your life, Argos Productions. Link at the bottom, website and things. Follow them on social media too. For crying out loud.
I'm gonna get calls tomorrow.
I am so sorry, Ellen.
I really think nothing of it.
Anywho, as I said, Idaho, we have a good one today. Tonight, we have our good buddy, Rebecca De Leon. Rebecca, you wear so many hats. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself because there's Planned Parenthood, there's your consulting firm, you're a fellow board member of the Alliance, which I cannot wait to speak more about. And then you're also a full-time mother because apparently there's no part-time parenting. And if there is, let me know where I get that gig. I'm kidding. I don't want that. I love the full-time stuff. So please, Rebecca, tell us about yourself. Who are you? Rebecca De Leon.
I mean, I'm obviously very mysterious.
Yes.
But my name is Rebecca De Leon, and I have multiple hats. I'm not sure which all. Am I just supposed to be wearing all the hats today?
Well, which ones do you want us to know about? Because if you don't bring it up, I'm going to bring it up. So you do
Okay.
it. Take
all
control.
right.
Take control.
Sounds good. Okay, so I would say that my primary jobs are I am a communications manager with Planned Parenthood. It's the largest Planned Parenthood affiliate in the country. That's like there's all the little small like affiliates, and then there's like the general large Planned Parenthood that's like located in DC. Our affiliate covers 6 states, and it's a lot to go over, and it's just a lot. I also run a PR firm on the side for funsies, and it's called Lionheart Consulting, and I provide PR, marketing, crisis management for people who are interested specifically in like dual language, English, Spanish, and for reaching out to the Latino community. And so that's my kind of specialty. And then I also have a radio show on Radio Boise called The Latino Card, which we have run for a couple of years. And it's pretty dope if y'all want to check it out. It's every other Tuesday at 3 p.m. And we're supposed to be also existing online. There's a long story behind that. It'll get caught up, maybe, probably not. But we have won several Idaho Press Club Awards for journalism for that show. And it's something I'm very proud of.
Yes,
and
you should be.
I am a mostly full-time mom.
Mostly full-time mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I hit at least the 40-hour-a-week mark.
That's pretty solid.
Motherhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stopped keeping track of time. Yes, can't. Well, cool. Rebecca, so over here at My Idaho Friends, in order to avoid any uncertainty, what we do is we start talking a little bit about you and all about you, but we want to know, Idaho wants to know, what was Rebecca De Leon up to 10 years ago? And then I'm going to throw a few questions at you. Then it's
right.
Where are you right now? And then throw some questions at you. And this is where we got to look forward to in the future. So what was Rebecca up to a decade ago?
So a decade ago, I was 25, and I was a loser. I really had...
highly doubt that.
No, it's true.
By all means, give it a shot.
It's true. I was, I was in and out of homelessness. I was a college dropout. I had no prospects. I had no future. I had a lot of problems. I had a lot of issues. And, there was no, if you would have told Rebecca 10 years ago that Rebecca today would be on Jaime Lima's show, she would say, no freaking way.
Oh, nice try. I love that you're giving us some credibility by saying that. And then you should.
She
Man,
wouldn't believe me.
We're gonna have to write her a check. Little does she know, it's gonna be on Dogecoin.
We planned this ahead of time, of course.
But yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's true. I was supposed to be a statistic. I mean, a lot of people who kind of come from backgrounds where, you know, with things are kind of broken, you don't have a lot of money. You know, there's a cycle of poverty that's very difficult to break.
Yeah.
And you know, especially if you're somebody who has experienced a lot of violence, that also is a cycle that you have to break. And so I have a bachelor's degree. It's a 4-year degree that took me 10 years to get, if you
Nice.
count all the time I didn't do anything. But I finally have a bachelor's degree. I have a job that pays bills, and I have a house. And so 10 years ago, I had no future. So that's where I was.
I like how you say that because a lot of people, and you know, you're a product of your environment, and like you just a lot of times don't understand, or whether it's because of lack of awareness, or sometimes you just don't leave like the immediate area where you live at. Such thing as like completing school, owning a home, you know, having the ability to like pay the bills and not, you know, and it seems like such a like, oh, that's like status quo. And it's like, I mean, that was not the case for me growing up, and for a lot of like my peer group in the, you know, in the area that I was born and raised in Panama. So the idea of like being a homeowner, you know, especially nowadays, especially if you're doing it in Idaho.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Oh, you know,
It's rough out there.
And, you know, the
It's rough
closer
out
you're
there.
to Boise, it's just like,
For sure.
what is this, like second highest spike in real estate throughout all the country, like ranked second highest? Or
Yeah,
something
we're
along
always
those
like
lines.
number one in all the shitty lists, and
All
then
the
we're like at the bottom of all the good lists.
I know. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, people keep moving over here, so there's something good about us. And yes,
That's
there
fair.
is Idaho. I'm just being facetious, but
Yeah, me too.
so yeah, but I think it's cool, and I want to celebrate that. So congratulations, and that's really really awesome. You know, and without
Yeah.
going into too many like personal details and stuff like that, that's quite the steep hill to
It
climb.
is. It's very
And-
much you got to claw your way out,
Yeah.
and that's something that I definitely when I do like the Latino card, because the Latino card is something that I mean I get to kind of talk about whatever I want to. I get to have on whatever guests I want to, and we get to talk about, you know, the things that matter to me, and the things that matter to me are for people to recognize that, you know, some people have head starts that they fail to recognize,
Right.
and some people really have to claw their way to where they get. And you know, it is meritorious. Like that is the American dream. People come to this country because they want that American dream. They want the ability to have doors open purely based on how hard they work and like how much balls they put into something or whatever the scenario is. That's the dream, and it's possible, but it's not easy, and it's worth our time to reflect on why it's so unequal.
Yeah. It's fucked up. That's what it is.
There we go. You just got our tagline for our show. It's fucked up.
Well, it's, you know, as time continues to go by, the number of opportunities available for those of us who have had a less fortunate upbringing and less access to opportunities, they just become less and less and less.
Yeah.
And then any time that voices and concerns are being raised about it, it's just then projected and gaslighted in a way as if like you are just being not only
victim.
condescending, you're also being a victim, and you are just entitled.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just look just a few years back, not that long ago. It was the millennials, and like
That's right.
who's running shit? Millennials, you know, like, and you can cut those up in between whatever little micro generations, but it you know, it's just like as you get older, you're like, oh snap, son, like, yeah, it's and people who just for some reason think that, you know, having like immediate access to like housing, and then if you have housing, like how easy it will be just to like keep the lights on and keep the heat on, or like the AC on during the summer because it gets a little hot over here, and then
Yeah.
just yeah, I can talk on and on and on about that, but I think it's cool to hear your story and just to reflect a little bit into like celebrating those victories because they're by no means small and they are incredibly significant. So I want to celebrate that. So
Well, thank
yay!
you. But I would say that anybody, honestly, everybody that I have ever met who has kind of had to fight that kind of fight in order to like, I mean, for a lot of people, living middle class is like a dream that was unattainable for them. And it doesn't just have to do with money. Like everything is connected. It's, you know, some people don't have parents who value education and they don't realize that those of us, I am, you know, grateful that my parents did value education. Those of us who had that don't realize what a privilege that we've had to see the value in education and see how it is so closely connected to a good future.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it's all connected because people who don't know the value of an education aren't going to pass that knowledge on to their kids. And, you know, the cycles continue. So I wouldn't say that, you know, there's anything special about me because I did have a lot of privileges that a lot of people don't have. But it is worth saying that anybody who has kind of had a little bit of a rags to riches story brings so much perspective and there's so much value into whatever they're doing in their work. And I've never seen it not be insanely valuable. And I think that we really need to treat people better. People who have had that kind of journey, they deserve so much respect. And there's so many people who have overcome so many more obstacles than I have. And I mean, it's incredible.
No. Well, we're going to tie that with a bow because that could be just like the whole thing. But yeah, I think, you know, people with your background, people with my background, from different cultures and communities, what I would like to see, because it happens, but sometimes it's the opposite, right? But what I would like to see more often is like, okay, so things were very, very difficult for us and very great way to describe it. We would claw ourselves out of those situations. Well, how do I make it better for like everybody else that comes after me? And sometimes I just get like that tick because they'll be saying, well, I had to do it this way so you can do it too. And it's just like,
yes.
Oh, slow down, dinosaur. Slow down. Slow down.
Not only that, but it's, you know, just saying the fact that I had to claw my way to get to somebody else's baseline and just pointing out that that is just like an unequal amount does not make me a victim. It doesn't make me the racist, especially if I'm trying to like explain the reasons for why there's that deficit.
Right.
And it's just such a disgusting conversation that we're having right now.
Yeah.
Not me and you.
No,
like,
I get
as a
it. No,
country.
but no, and it's been had, you know, for several years. It's just
And
it's
it's
gonna
so
continue
tiring.
to go on. It is exhausting.
So exhausting.
The labor.
The labor.
So.
You gotta take your Marco Rubio sip first.
Absolutely. So that brings us to now.
Yeah.
And there's a number of several things that you're doing that you already touched on, and I wanna circle, you know, over to your for funsies job, you know, which has to do, you know, with your PR firm. But before that, there's one thing that you and I have in common, other than being dark and beautiful.
I mean, some darker and some more beautiful than others, but all right.
You know what? Thank you. But flattery will get you everywhere with me.
Yes.
But
Same.
But yeah, so we're both board members. The both of us are board
Yes.
members with the Alliance of Idaho. So last season we had Sarah Santias on the show, and it was great. It would have been awesome to have her in person, but we did the whole like screen thing because she's up at the Wood River Valley.
Right.
But I have you here now.
That's right.
And
In
I
the
think
flesh.
I think it will just be more better rather than that you do it rather than I do it. So tell us a little bit about the Alliance,
Sure.
who the Alliance is, what the mission is, and some stuff that is coming up with the Alliance.
Yeah, so I've been a board member, I think, since kind of the Alliance developed a board. And in that respect, I'm very grateful to have been able to watch it grow from nothing to what it is today, which is something that is just so incredibly impactful, especially in the Wood River Valley. So the Alliance, and I'm just going to call it the Alliance because, who's got time for an entire name? So the Alliance, it specializes, I guess, in immigration, and they're specializing in helping refugees, especially in the Wood River Valley, start their immigration journey. They also advocate for immigrant rights. They have just done so much, and I unfortunately have had to miss a couple board meetings because I had a death in the family and I was sick. And so, I'm a little bit less caught up on the happenings now, except to say that they do have an immigration attorney that they're working with in the Wood River Valley, and that person, much like what happens, I think, with every community, I'm going to back up a little bit, especially Latino community in every, area in Idaho, they have their trusted people. Like, they have the people that they know that they can trust, and it's kind of word of mouth. The community is very tight knit, and I think the Alliance is one of those trusted people for that community in the Wood River Valley, and that is so huge. That is so huge because it's hard to get trusted because they have, there are immigration attorneys. There are people who pretend to be immigration attorneys, and they take advantage of a lot of confusion in the translation of an immigration attorney, because I know that specifically in Mexico, an attorney can be what we would call what do you call that? A thing. I forget.
Okay.
I can't think of the name right now, but they take advantage of that error in translation to tell people sure, I'm an attorney, but they're not actually an attorney. And the word will probably come to me when I'm showering 3 days from now. So there is just a lot of harm, and there's people who take advantage, because these people are in a vulnerable situation. There are people who take advantage, and of course the Alliance is well established. The Alliance is something, an organization. It's a nonprofit organization, and we're both board members, so it engages with the community because we are members of the community that they serve. It engages with the community. It's making sure that it really puts the people who need these services at the center of what they do. So their cause is noble, but also their approach is noble, and that is important. And so there was, as we probably are all aware, even though it feels like it happened 72 years ago, the Taliban kind of took over Afghanistan, and shit hit the fan. And a lot of Afghani people needed to leave Afghanistan immediately. And when that happens, you don't have the time to sit in your country, and start the legal process and wait years and do all these kinds of things. So you apply for refugee status because you need to get out immediately. And the Alliance has helped place Afghani refugees in housing, and has helped, kickstart their immigration process for refugee status.
One of the coolest things about the Alliance is, part of the mission is just looking out after the human rights of the most marginalized communities, right? So, and I like saying human rights because immigrant rights are human rights.
Yes, that's what's up.
And for some reason, sometimes people want to split hairs, and I just gotta remind them to no, go F yourself, and for a more polite way, But
I don't think you need to be polite all the time.
yeah. But I bring that up because it's not just the Latinx community. It's also not just it's not only for the Wood River Valley as well, because there are people who are coming from farther out just to take advantage of the services that the Alliance can facilitate. For just $25, you can have an hour consultation with our attorney who is tried and true and 25 years of experience and has the ability to go over your case. So it's not necessarily that he's taking over cases, but sometimes you just need a little bit of a second opinion or a sanity check, because at times you can tell when you're dealing with anybody in legal services that is supposed to be helping you, whether they care or not.
That's right.
And and I have gone through that experience, back in several years ago when I was an undocumented immigrant. And having conversation with somebody that doesn't give a shit, with somebody that's like, I got your back.
That's right.
It's just wild.
It is.
So I think it's not the only, but it's by far one of the most valuable services that we facilitate, that we provide. And they are not for the Latinx community alone. And so it's just really for anybody that is in need of those services. Now, here in Idaho, and and in the Wood River Valley, like those who are most exposed, if you may, and are in need of those services tend to be people with our background, whether it's from Mexico, whether it's from Panama, like anything in between or farther down south. So just wanted to clarify that with you guys. So it's like it's for everyone. I can believe I can speak for the both of us, that we're very proud of that.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty cool that when the opportunity presented itself to help this Afghani family, that we were able to have that rubber meet the road. I hate saying us a previous Marine or like us a previous service member. I do my best not to do that.
Hate that.
It's not that I hate it because of my service, but it's just like, trying to like bring up some sort of like expertise, that's not the case. But the reason why I do say it this time is because it's no longer in the news. And there's still a number of, and thousands of Afghani families, allies, who a lot of them are U.S. residents and citizens, and they have not been able to leave the country. So, what happened to the outrage? What happened to the way in which was incredibly politicized on both sides of that coin? So, it's always those who are marginalized who pay the steepest of prices. So I am super stoked, super proud of being a part of the Alliance, and that we were able to take action immediately. And then when it was brought up to the board, that it was something that we were all able to make a decision and take action right away. Because we can talk about it, but we'd rather be about it. Boom.
Oh, damn. Look at you.
Right?
Look at us.
I know. I should just do this more often, not drink while doing the interviews. I'm kidding, Idaho.
As he drinks.
It's a La Croix, right?
It's a sparkling water.
It's a sparkling water. Anywho.
I mean, it's true. We both have a passion for it. And I would say that all of the board members have a passion. We have different perspectives, but we all have the same passion. And so we were all very much in line with, taking on what the Alliance could take on, as Afghani refugees came in. And so I am extremely, again, privileged to have been born in the United States, but I also went through the process because I married somebody who was undocumented. And we went through that process together recently. And it was, actually, we started the process right before Trump took office. And so when we started the process, we were like, this is going to be great. And then by the time we were near the end, we were like, this is awful and this is not going to succeed. And so I think that people may not fully understand how scary that is. I mean, we have a child together, and, every single day it's just, I didn't know if my child's dad was going to come home from work. And, they don't really give you a chance to say goodbye.
Right.
People don't fully understand, unless you've lived it, how scary that is. And, I mean, if we were driving in separate cars and we were both going in the same direction, I was like white knuckling it, like so scared. And I was like pumping myself up. So, okay, like if he gets pulled over by a police officer, because all you need to do is go 1 mile per hour to speed limit, get pulled over by the wrong police officer, and it's over.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And, especially in Idaho, especially in this area, you're probably going to get pulled over by the wrong police officer. There's a lot of them. And so, I would be white knuckling it and just being like, okay, here's the thing. Like, I'm a U.S. citizen. If he gets pulled over, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sideswipe the cop car so that he tries to chase me instead, because that's a felony for me. I would probably lose my job. I'd have a hard time getting another job, but I would still stand to lose less than if he got
Right.
a speeding ticket for going 5 over from the wrong guy. And so
I
Understand the word. And I'm gonna butcher it in Spanish, and I apologize.
what just happened?
Notorios. And
Notarios.
Thank you.
Notarios públicos. That's what's up. Okay, so a notario,
Notary
thank
public.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, a notario público is a public notary. They're just the people who stamp stuff. But in Mexico, that is an attorney. And so, they take advantage of the fact that
Okay.
there's that weird.
If for some
mistranslation.
reason you just jumped up on the YouTube and that's the first thing you heard, you gotta go back like 15 minutes and then that will all make sense.
It was hard to find.
But
Sorry.
no
I'm glad you
worries.
found it though.
No, yeah, there's a different price that gets paid. We have had that conversation over here. I had that conversation with Victor, last season when we were talking with him, sharing with him. Had that conversation with, oh my goodness gracious, why am I drawing a blank?
There's something in this LaCroix.
Yeah, there must be really, it's really
I
rough.
was like,
So, but anywho, it's been had before, and like, I always thought it was like not a big deal, but everybody processes trauma, and then if you call it trauma, then you're being a pansy and all these other things. And I was like, trauma is trauma. But I was sharing once, like, I was in high school, and like, a lot of my peers, and to not follow their own, most of them were unaware because you're like 16, 17 years old, and like life is good. I have both parents. Like, to me, that was wild. So you got both parents? What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? What
and-
made your parents stay together? What's wrong with you?
yeah, like 3 square meals and all this other stuff. It was rad, like like setting the standard so low. But no, but like like, oh, like, hi man, we're going to a party, and they'll like come and pick me up, and I was like, oh man, like I'm going to a party. And then like some like little things, like somebody like shows up with like a case of PBR, and like all of a sudden like my anxiety starts to like, and then like somebody starts like smoking some weed, just put it in that bowl, bro. And I was, and I went to Boise High, class of '98, so we were all smoking weed apparently. We were not.
If anyone's
wasn't.
watching this, it's
I
past the statute of
wasn't.
limitations.
Yeah, us 1998. Settle down, Idaho.
Settle down, geez.
But no, and it was just one of those things, like I will hang out, and then all of a sudden I was just like weighing in the pros and cons at 16 and 17, where like everybody else was just like trying to determine whether they're gonna be able to like make out with somebody or not, or
Right.
if they're gonna like look or not look cool while they're talking to somebody.
Yeah.
It was always it comes back to me, and I'm super stoked that my children will never have to experience anything like that, nor will I hang it over their heads. But it's there's a lesson to be learned there somewhere,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't want somebody else to have to go through that. I wouldn't want somebody else to go through like the thought process of like, I am gonna have to do this one thing so my loved one doesn't have the ability to be here as we raised our child together.
Yeah.
And it seems like from the outside in, for anybody that has no idea of like the immigrant experience, which I think is silly, because if you live in the U.S., you're either First Nation Native American, or you came from slavery, or you are an immigrant, or you were a colonist.
Colonizer. That's right.
Coloni-
and immigrants
colonizer.
and colonizers are different.
Colonizer, excuse me. So, like, why is like immigrant history not more transparent and more, presented in a way that is easily to digest for everybody.
Right. I think we all know.
Well, we know why. Yeah,
We know
white
why.
supremacy. But anywho,
Yeah.
but yeah. No, feelings were hurt. I have a black friend. So yeah,
Yes.
I had those conversations
marinate.
recently. I'm just like, oh my goodness, Karen.
Yeah.
So, but I say that because bringing things full circle and not to just be a Debbie Downer, as they say. It's not difficult to explain, but it's beyond exhausting to have to explain it and relive it and be expected to do so.
Yeah.
Like why would I put myself in that position? Like it's the information is out there.
Yeah.
Like you're so busy Googling like the million reasons why you shouldn't get vaccinated, but you cannot go down the Google rabbit hole as to how we're a nation of immigrants. But
That's right. And then it's also such a big piece of yourself. And I mean, it's more than I think just something that you know or that you've experienced. Like it is who you are. It's a piece of yourself. Like we don't get to choose where we're born, but we can choose whether or not we choose to give ourselves or our children a future. And so to tell that story and to put so much of yourself out there for somebody to judge, that's what you're essentially doing every time, because the person can have a great response and then you're like, oof, or they can have a terrible response and
man.
then you feel that in your chest.
I used to.
You used to?
Oh man, there's this big old like Mario Bros like Koopa shell around my heart now.
It's very specific.
And I just I like
it.
video games. And it's just like, oh really? Speak to me some Navajo then.
Yeah,
Tell me how
exactly.
American you are. Fucking douche rocket.
I'm gonna use that now. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
I like this a lot.
Yeah. All right. So the Alliance, before we leave that subject, please support. If you're watching this, once it's on our YouTube channel, right below, you'll see the link for the Alliance. You'll see it for this episode. Guess what? You'll see it for all the episodes prior to. You can go to their website, learn about our mission, learn about our intent, the things that we have done, the things that we're looking to accomplish. With that said, we cannot do it without your support. So we're going to be fundraising. So if, as you start approaching the holiday season, we're not there yet. We haven't done the killing of the first people's, fucking turkey dinner. We'll get to that. But, after that, holiday season starts. So if you want to use all of that guilt, from being born, from a long line of colonizers, that's not your fault. But you can make a difference. You can grab some of them monies. Are we taking Ethereum yet? We're not there yet. No crypto yet. But, just consider helping us so we can help, everybody else. Like I said, immigrant rights are human rights.
Yes.
And, there's the 4 that we talked about. So, you cannot help. There's nothing that you can do about the past. But, from this point on, moving forward, if you would like to be an ally and you would like to help, we are taking monies. We're always taking monies out, but we're going to have a really cool fundraiser, and there'll be more on that on our website, and you'll learn more about it here in the very near future. But as you are looking to, put your money where your mouth is, consider the Alliance.
Yeah, the Alliance is a good one.
It's a good one.
It's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
They're one of
I like
the
it.
good ones.
Okay, let's make it more about you now.
Oh.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
Tell me about your PR consulting firm, please.
Sure. Okay. So my PR consulting firm actually was born completely out of necessity. And so I was let go from a job unexpectedly. There's a lot behind that.
I get let go all the time, girl.
Do
worry.
ya?
That's not true. I was trying to make you feel good. I have a very long track record of success whenever I'm just trying to
Can't
relate.
relate.
I was
Can't
just really
relate.
trying to make you feel good. It's actually not even success. It's just I was in the military for 12 years. And, they're not really going to fire you unless you start killing the wrong people. And even then, you might still keep your job. So
I've heard.
fucking crack smoking Christ. Sorry for you, Christ lovers.
You're gonna hurt poor Ellen. She's trying so hard not to laugh out loud.
So, yeah, I relate.
Yeah, sure.
Prior to that, I'm sure I got fired sometime. Do tell.
I did get fired. And so I didn't have anything else lined up. I had a mortgage, I had a family. And so Lionheart Consulting was born out of that situation because there were several things that kind of went into it. Number one, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I never wanted to be a business owner. I was never of that mentality of like, I don't want to report to anybody. Like, I was a straight A student, and straight A students love reporting to people and getting gold stars.
Yeah.
Like, we don't think outside the box. Like, those are the C average students. A average students end up working for the C average students. It's all messed up. All we can do is regurgitate and follow the rules.
Yeah.
So I did not want to be that. I was like, somebody please get rich off of my labor. This was like my life plan.
Yeah.
So
capitalism.
I know, it's great.
Yeah.
And so this was started, and I was there's so many people, I think, that to think this is never, I think, honestly, somebody who can say that they're even a certain degree of successful can never say that they are so because of themselves and themselves only. Like, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, that is a myth. Everybody has help.
Yeah.
And so there were so many people who told me, Rebecca, I will give you money to do what you were doing, but just like by yourself. And you can do this. And I was like, we talk about imposter syndrome, and everybody hates hearing about that because it's that victim mentality kind of like link for a lot of people. But it's so real because I'm like, I can't do these things. There's nobody to like tell me what to do. Like, I need a puppet master. I'm not smart enough to do this by myself. I'm not good enough. I don't have anything to offer. And other people would tell me, like, there are no PR firms in this area that speak Spanish and that know the community and that the community know them, like the Latino community.
Yeah.
There's no
the
such
network.
thing. Yeah. And they're like, that's valuable to people. And you should, you could be serving your community by making those connections and making sure that they are getting the resources that they should be getting but aren't. And I had to be convinced. It took well over a month of multiple people being like, you can do it, Rebecca. And then I was like, all right. And so I just like Googled, how do you even start this? I don't know. And, it was incredible because, again, because of all of the people who really stuck their neck out and who helped, I started getting people like clients that would then word of mouth to other clients. And then, within less than 3 months, I was turning like a decent profit. Ooh. And it was outstanding. And I still didn't believe in myself. So that I got this job with Planned Parenthood, also because of the health insurance. I really wanted health insurance. And my undocumented spouse at the time could not get it for us. So, but I still didn't believe. I was just like, I just had 3 months of lucky, of being lucky. And it's because of these other people. It's not because of me and all this crazy stuff. And so I've attempted on multiple occasions to, dissolve Lionheart Consulting. And it keeps going, and people keep just wanting to give me money. And I'm just like, all right, I guess if you want to, I guess I'll take your money.
That is so great. That is so awesome. We were teasing earlier. But like, if you look at my LinkedIn, it just seems like success. But when you like really pull that onion apart there, Ellen, or camera person, camera lady in charge, is that the right pronoun?
Sure, yeah.
She, her? Okay.
Person who is not named Emma or Ella.
Yeah, no, close.
I'll get a shirt.
Thank you. Thank you, Ellen. But no, like if you peel that onion, it's just like failure, fail. And it is so funny because like, oh man, like Jaime, you got your shit together. I'm like, do I?
Do I?
Like, where does it say that? I want to know. I want to know. Tell me. And yeah, there has been some wins. And I think perhaps maybe another thing that we might have in common, we seem to focus on the losses, because that's how you learn.
Maybe.
Right, you're gonna learn tonight. I was like, I'm sick of learning.
I'm sick of learning.
Every night and during the day. Fudge rocket. But no, that's just super cool to hear. That's inspiring, and that's really awesome. It warms my heart because I definitely deal with imposter syndrome like all the time.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm also very full of myself. Not like in the
How
bad,
do you manage such
not like in
things?
the bad way, but kind of like in the charming sort of way. Kind of like, like I have a really hard time, like. I just somehow along the lines I program myself, and maybe that I guess like one of the good things of like coming out of the Marine Corps after 12 years is like I belong anywhere and everywhere. So I walk in there like people owe me money, not like I own the place, but like they owe me. But like over time, then you're just like, what am I doing here, and what am I supposed to do, and how do I do it? Why is this happening? Like it's just weird and it's silly, and like as I continue to get older, and more mature, I just keep thinking that I'm going to just master that and just compartmentalize it in a way in which I don't have to deal with it. Or perhaps maybe that's why I deal with it so much, because I've compartmentalized it so well. Now it just comes back to haunt me all the time.
You're either really good at it or really bad at it.
Yeah, but nobody can tell. So I got that going for myself. I got that going for myself. So, but it just makes me so happy that for you, it's just like, oh, I'm trying to fail, but here I am winning. It's like,
I think a lot of people can identify with like accidentally stumbling onto some success.
Mm-hmm. I stumble upon my wife, and it's the biggest success of my life.
That's so sweet.
It's just like she could have done so much better. Yeah,
that's so
it's
sweet.
Cool. It's cool. It's cool.
I think a lot of us feel like I'm accidentally successful, but why? I don't know. It just
there's some hard work in there.
I'm sure there is.
There's
for most people. Yeah,
and I have no doubt. Where do we see ourselves in 10 years from now?
Well, that's a good question, because I'm at I think a lot of people right now are in this weird, like, what am I even doing with my life, living as a corporate slave?
Oh, I thought you would say, like, I'm at a crossroads, and then I was going to have Justin in the background. Boom, bones, boom, bones, boom, bones. See ya at the crossroads. But,
look at you. You really are a 90s kid.
I was born in 1980, so yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But no Bone Thugs and Harmony because copyrights and whatnot. So
I mean, you nailed that singing.
Probably not, but that's okay. Thank you.
You might be in trouble for copyright. That was incredible. They might be kind of pissed.
And Justin wouldn't know who Bone Thugs and Harmony is anyways, because he's 25.
Oh my gosh.
So, yes, they are.
They are still.
They are still touring. Yeah, not all of them, but they come to Idaho. Yeah, over at like.
I've actually taken care of them several times.
You taking care of whatever that means.
I drive them back and forth from the airport when they come to town.
I was trying to be highly inappropriate. I'm sorry there, Erica.
Totally.
It was like it was funny in my heart. So yeah. Good group of cats.
Yeah.
So you're at crossroads 10 years from now. What was Rebecca de Leon?
I'm one of those people who, like, in the middle of the pandemic was just like, I don't want to be a corporate slave anymore. I'm definitely sick of the grind, and so I applied for an MFA in creative writing at the University of Texas at El Paso. And I'm also going to apply at Boise State, but they're my second choice.
They're your second choice. Don't say that out loud. BSU watches this shit all the time.
Yeah. Sorry, Marlene Trump.
They have no desire to waste their time watching this show. Which is a damn shame, because Argos Productions does such a great job. Plug.
That's true.
Inserted.
Great job. So seamless.
So very... I'm so
Incredible.
good at it. I cannot believe we don't have tons of sponsors. We're killing it here.
Genius.
Best thing to happen to YouTube scenes. Insert whatever streamer on YouTube that makes a lot of money doing YouTube.
It's all
Fucking
about
kids.
TikTok now, by the way.
I can't. I'm
You're
not.
like so old.
I am old. I'm 41 years old. There's just like
Awful.
it's 2 syllables with 2 K's put together. I mean they they got 2 vowels by accident. Take and talk. TikTok.
Yep.
No, I'm good. I can see it on the Instagram reels.
Oh, okay.
And it's just good
You're an
enough.
Instagram Reels guy.
Yeah, I'm a gram kind of guy.
Mm.
Anyways, we're talking about you 10 years from now. MFA,
Yes.
University of El Paso.
Yes.
I hear that's in
University of-
Texas.
Yeah, it's UTEP, I think.
Yeah,
is
and
like
then
the
a
short.
second strong choice is BSU.
Well, I got my bachelor's at Boise State, so you
so
know.
they already took
been
your
there, done
money.
that.
Yeah,
it's
they got paid.
so old by now.
Yeah,
like-
and it's just like,
so-
oh.
Oh gosh, I just don't even get lost on campus anymore. Like, what's the fun in that? So I want to, like, ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to be a writer. I've always wanted to write a book. My dad was always like, "You're extremely melodramatic," and he meant it as an insult, but I took it as a compliment.
Really? Well done.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
My parents used to tell me that as an insult, and I took it as an insult. That's real good. I like what you did, though.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Dad. All right.
Fuck you, Dad, I'm great.
Show you, fucker.
It looked like me throwing myself on the floor and crying because I was melodramatic, but
Right.
I was like,
gotcha. And my parents
complimented.
didn't say that. It was actually my t-shirts and,
Everybody else.
and like my friends.
Police
My
officers.
parents were actually pretty good.
Your
to me.
mailman.
Yeah. They have a mail person in Panama. But yeah, again, about you. Continue.
Yes. So I mean, I wanted to be everything. I was one of those kids. I was like, I'm going to be president, and I'm going to be an attorney. I'm going to be a senator, and I'm going to be a mermaid, and I was going to be all of those things.
Yeah.
And
Glitter bomb. Psh.
yeah. 0% of that was I'm going to be a business owner, and I'm going to work in PR and marketing. And the only reason why I'm in PR and marketing is because I wanted to be a writer. I thought it was the only thing I was good at. And so when I went to college, they were just like, ugh, writers don't make money. And I needed to make money. I was extremely poor. And so I tried to translate what I really loved into something marketable, so then I went into journalism. And turns out journalists don't make shit.
Yep.
They
Also
do
true.
not make good money. They don't even make a livable wage.
Just make that. Might as well would have gotten that psychology degree and then just
yeah.
being like, yeah.
I mean, it's just like journalists and like
Sorry,
liberal arts majors.
I'm kidding. I'm sure if you got your psychology degree at some point in time, 20 years later, you'll go and get that master's. You got it.
Yeah.
They won't.
Yes. Well, I mean, unless they want to do a career change like me and be an
Yeah.
artiste.
Yeah, an artiste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then journalism didn't pan out for me, then I tried to market my skills in marketing, and it killed my soul a little bit, even though I do love my work and I love advocating for the things that I've advocated for. I've advocated obviously for immigrant rights. I've advocated for, just like a bunch of I'm just outraged about everything at all times. And so I had to make a living, and I finally did, and I have a house, as we have mentioned. It's like my
Yeah.
crowning achievement. And so I
It comes with bills. Though.
I know. And so those have to be upkept.
Right.
And
Oh, shut up.
it's not easy. And so I don't know. I have to keep on the grind. I've got people to support. I've got a house to maintain. So I have to keep on the grind, but I want to reconnect with what drives my soul. And what drives my soul is expressing myself in this very particular way. And so even just the application for my MFA was an experience for me that I've, because it was a 25-page work of fiction that you have to submit with the application.
Really?
And I've never had to sit and write something like that, create this thing, and then hand it to people who know how to do it and have them judge me. And it was such an experience. And by the time I was done with it, I was like, this is what I want to do. I was high. I was just high off.
Well,
of
that's
everything.
cool. You earned it. You know,
I
you could have
mean-
also just set aside like $300. We're going to like www.brokeprofessors.com and they would have written that shit for you like in
I
one
could
day.
have.
But you earned it. So
But,
that's pretty cool.
I mean, it wouldn't be
I'm joking.
my dumbass on a platter. This
I
is what
am
I was trying
so-
to deliver.
I am so very kidding. And,
No,
you
I
know,
mean-
and I kid about a lot of things too because I know sometimes I
No.
inject like
Really?
like capitalism. Like 'cause when I say capitalism, you know, for example, it's like capitalism needs an update. You know, it's like because I'm
does.
fairly capitalist, you know, and
We all
I
are.
want to accumulate wealth in order to better help my family and those around me.
Yeah.
However, capitalism as it exists right now is like more for me, you know? And then everything else that trickles down never really trickled down. Like
Yes.
fucking, thanks, Reagan. Oh, I'm sorry, thanks, Obama. One of you. Yeah. Sorry, I'm
need
throwing
another
it back. I'm
update.
really throwing it back now. Like people are like looking up on Google and shit. Anyway, but like trickle down economics and whatever. So, but yeah, it's just yeah, it's just a thing, right? So like you want to get out of the corporate nightmare, but like you do have to pay bills. You know, mortgages are a thing, and those have taxes included. And when like housing in the area that you live at just getting out of control, those taxes go up, and then like hopefully your furnace is not like 20 years old when it should really apparently be getting changed like every 7 to 10 years.
Yeah, nobody tells you these things.
Nobody tells you those things. And they're expensive.
Yes.
So expensive. It's like the
So
second
expensive.
largest expense unless like your car gets used, I don't know, something.
It's a lot.
So yeah, adulting. Adulting is
Adulting.
it's
It's a thing.
it's a thing. And then
Yeah.
everybody's like, oh, like just work hard. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Anyways, separate episode for a different time. It's just my stupid rants. That's why nobody watches the show. Somebody told them, it's like, yeah, he just rants and just gets angry because capitalism hasn't been updated yet. I just want everybody to eat. That's all I want. I just
know.
don't want somebody to eat so much that they're trying to colonize the fucking moon when there's shit to fix here.
It's so true. I mean, we are so privileged here, and we're so privileged to be Americans. And I mean, I recently just went to Mexico and visited family there, and I mean, it's always so grounding and so eye-opening to just like, I just came home, and I've never been so depressed to come back home from time away before, because it's just like, we have people here who are just losing their fucking minds over a vaccine that can save lives, whereas people in Mexico who need access to that vaccine can't get it because it's literally just not available. I just got a booster shot. So I went to the buffet and then came back for seconds, and they haven't even got their first tray yet.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're so fucking spoiled here, and we don't appreciate it. And they're just like the kindest people, at least my family. I don't know about y'all's family, but like my family
They're
is
okay.
awesome.
We're not going to tell them.
They're
They're fucking great. Okay? Settle down. Yeah, we have it pretty good.
Yeah.
I will also argue that we can still make it better for everybody else.
Yes.
And I think that's where I, you know, again, not to be the old negative Nancy,
No, I mean,
but that we have the means. We
Yeah,
have the
we
means so
do.
everybody can eat, and the fact that not everybody is eating. And when I mean everybody, I mean everybody, not just like, oh, there's Jaime talking about immigrants again. Like, no, like you too. They're Bob, fucking Bob. I want you to eat too, motherfucker. Anyway,
fuck you, Bob. I'm so pissed at Bob right now.
so pissed off right now. We gotta switch it up. It cannot just be Karen all the time. I've been trying Linda's here and there, and
Stop!
then like I
They
miss
might start
somebody.
using Rebecca. I've
No!
seen it. Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, no, please stick to Karen.
Or like Jaime's.
No,
They're not gonna use that. No, it's a J
It's not
that
wide
sounds
enough.
like an H. Yeah, it's just no.
It's just
Have
too
fun.
much.
So, okay, Rebecca, it's plug time.
Plug time.
You get your own camera. You get to look at it, make a connection with the 3 people that are watching. I joke. I am joking, by the way. Okay, my poor producer over here is just
We love all 4 of you.
it's like hundreds.
What do you think you did?
But yeah, tell the peoples that are watching, about your consulting firm. If you want to talk about whatever, this is your time for you. Sell it, girl. Sell it. You can
All
do it.
right. I mean, yeah, my consulting firm. It's actually bilingual, so it's Lionheart Consulting, but
Pero.
pero.
That means but in Spanish. I'll shut up now.
Thank you. Thanks for that. That reminds me, wait, real quick. That reminds me of like on SNL when they made that joke when El Nino, the tropical storm, was like a really big thing, and they're like, it's El Nino. That's Spanish for the Nino.
Okay. I don't need your mom jokes on my fucking show. Okay. I'm in charge of those. Plug time. Tell the people how you can make money off of them. Okay, please.
Oh, please give me your money. My prices are unreasonable, but pay me anyway.
Also not true.
No, that was just my imposter syndrome coming out again. I'm very worth it. So the URL, if you do want to take a look, it's Corazón de León, which is Lionheart. My last name is De León. It's Heart of Lion, Corazón de León. So it's corazón-deleon.com. And there's a form there that you can reach out to me and tell me what your deal is, what you need, and I will respond. And yeah. I mean, listen to the Latino Card on Radio Boise every other Tuesday. So starting this coming Tuesday, which is November something.
Oh.
And at 3 p.m., Radio Boise. Or you can visit their website and listen to the Latino Card and educate your damn self. Because our biggest thing is, representation matters. Our biggest thing is you can't be what you can't see. And, calling out the inequities when we see them.
Mm-hmm. All the things.
That's what's up.
And then again, if you're watching the YouTube, the links is below. Click on that sucker and it'll take you right over to her.
That's right.
Cool. Well, Idaho, that's all we got. I cannot do this anymore. My face hurts. I'm having a good time. I cannot risk calling Ella by a different name again. What? It's Emma, isn't it? Ellen. We're never going to get picked up, man. We're going to keep on trying, Justin. Justin. Now I fucked up his name, too. We're leaving. Idaho, it's been great to see you. Argos Productions, the best of the best.
Yes.
They'll do the things. Film. Digital content.
Put up with ADD riddles.
They just been doing stuff for the Ann Morrison Center for the Arts. I mean, they're legit. They're great. They're great. They're awesome. They let me use their studio. Why do they let me do it? I don't know. It's not for free, but still, they could charge me a lot more. I'm kidding. They charge me all the things. There's some sweat
I'm
equity.
kidding. I'm riddled with bankruptcy.
I am riddled with debt. But my wife never watches the show, so it's okay. Argos Productions, they're the place to be. Check out their link. Check out their website. Erica, Justin, Emma, Ella, Emma, all three of you packed into one. Thank you so much. And to my guest, Rebecca de Leon, please go check out her consulting firm. O en español también, si necesitas a alguien por los servicios de relaciones públicas, Rebecca de Leon es la persona que te puede ayudar.
Yo estoy aquí por ti.
Thank you very much, Idaho. I appreciate you. I love you a long time. Last but not least, my buddy who's on the hospital, Drew, I love you. You got this. I'm going to come see you again. We'll be playing games soon. Love you, brother. Idaho, get out there. And when you get a chance, be kind to somebody. Cheers.
Bye.